Hello guys, it's Jordan from Jordan Q Review. Welcome back. Today we're talking about Letshuoer Cadenza 4, a $249 IEM, and it's a 1+3 driver configuration IEM. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about Letshuoer and Cadenza 4. So Letshuoer, you guys know, is a brand that came up with like the DZ4, the S12, which is very famous. Then also for the Cadenza series, actually they have a Cadenza 12, which is uber expensive. So this time they made Cadenza 4, which is a more entry-level kind of attempt, I would say. So you're having one beryllium coated driver for the DD and one Sonian BA and two nose BA. So I would say the configuration is quite nice, and for 249 is still very competitive. Let's talk about the build, the design, and the physical aspect of this IEM. So first of all, this is the case that you get, and also I would say usually I don't do unboxing, but this is just a bit nicer than the usual box that we have, so hence we're doing it a very quick one. So open up the box like this, and what I like is drawer style. Yes, I always like drawer style, and I always like a little bit more fancier kind of unboxing experience. So we have here inside a carrying case, yes, a carrying case, and then three interchangeable nozzle over here. So we have not nozzle, connector. So we have 2.5, 3.5, 4.4, and wow, they provide 2.5. Like, okay, so the IEM itself this time is still using the Letshuoer kind of matte finishing, which is very special. It was just very nice to touch. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with the DZ4, which is also having that matte finishing, then you shouldn't be a stranger to this, because you're having the same type of matte finishing and also roughly the same type of color. So this is the sandy white kind of color, and the faceplate is a metal faceplate, and it's kind of, I would say, minimalistic, yes, which is very nice. And the cable that it came with, like just now as you saw, is an interchangeable cable that you can change it to 2.5, 3.5, 4.4, but seriously 2.5? So actually I personally don't mind all this accessory, but I really wish that maybe from a year from now everything should be in 4.4, no? As in, most of the dongle nowadays come with 4.4, and most of the depth nowadays also come in at 4.4, so why bother having something 3.5, 2.5 interchangeable? Because I did lost one of the connectors before, so it's also one of the breakage point, as in that thing have a chance of failure. So but never happened to me with all of my 4.4 cables. So changeable thing, just it might get loose, right? So this is the physical aspect. And one thing to complain about the Cadenza 4, let's praise it first. Okay, the sandy white is very nice, and the matte finishing is very comfy to wear as well. Then the ergonomic shape is just very flush to wear. Okay, it's flush, comfy, low profile. But why do you want to like just print a black color font at the side of the earphone? So because this earphone looks to you like very clean, okay, very minimal, that's all, nothing else. But at the side you have this Cadenza 4. Okay, I don't mind the name, but we have this true virtuoso, then L or R for left and right. It's like, what? Seriously? Do you really needed that? Because your IEM is very clean looking, very subtle, but yet with this black color smudge of ink on it, font, yes. So just find it a bit disturbing. No, I mean, for most of the IEM, because most of the IEM outside is in black or resin shell within darker color, so fonts on those are not as obvious. But in an IEM in this kind of color, a little bit more fair, a bit white, a little bit more sandy, clean kind of design, having a black font on the side of the IEM is just very disturbing to look at if you have OCD. So that's a physical aspect of this IEM. And the cable, nothing much to talk about the cable, except it's changeable to 3.5, 2.5, 4.4, and it's quite thin and quite easy to handle with. Let's talk about the ear tips as well. Ear tips, they do provide two different types of ear tips. So we have a balanced ear tip, and we have a vocal focus ear tip as what is stated. So it's just basically a wider bore ear tips, where I don't think that is a bad suiting ear tips on this IEM. But the balanced ear tip is quite nice. It have a similar color wipe to the shell itself, so the whole thing just very clean, except the words. Okay, so color matching, even the ear tips, very nice. So let's talk about sound. It got me worried for a while when I first received it from Letshuoer. So thank you Letshuoer for sending it over, and also because it's a very balanced sounding IEM when you first listen to it. So this kind of IEM is very hard to do like reviews and all, because it has everything done mostly correct. So it's very hard to do a review like this. And this is the graph. I will just like show it around here, so you can see that you have bass, okay, you have very good mids, actually spectacular mids, okay, and also very nice upper mid-range and very nice slope down to the treble as well. It's not roll off, it's not missing, it's not dark or anything. So overall, for those of you who like to look at graph, okay, for those of you who have visual eyes that can look at the graph and you know how it sounds, okay, I don't have that magical power, so this graph will look perfect to you. Okay, I can even tell you that this is $1,000 IEM looking at this graph, okay, because it just looks quite nice to look at. So first of all, let's talk about the bass. So the bass on the Cadenza 4, I would say that it's fast and snappy. Something that I really like, okay, it don't have the deepest rumble, it don't have the deepest punch, but then it have one of the fastest speed in the price of $249 for this kind of speed of bass is, I would say, very welcoming. So it's very opposite with something like from the TA Audio Hype series or TA Audio IEM itself as a whole, because their DD is used to be a little bit slower, have more decay, of course it rumble a bit more, but on this IEM it don't rumble as much, but it's fast, okay, it's very fast and snappy bass. So let's talk about mid-range. Mid-range, something similar again to the TA Audio kind of monitoring-ish kind of mid-range, where it's not overly colored, it's not overly, I would say, tempered with, it's just very nice to listen to, clean, clear, not scoop out, not overly pronounced or not bloated by bass or affected by anything else. It's just clean. So if you are a person who like to listen to instruments, if you like to listen to piano, listen to like something in the male vocals, be very nice to listen to on this IEM itself because of the mid-range. Although it's not as thick and large as something from TA Audio, but still I think that the approach here, this flattish mid-range, is something that I really appreciate from IEMs. Let's talk about the upper mid-range. Upper mid-range, looking at the graph, again you might think that this is a very forward sounding IEM. I mean, at least for female vocal. Actually, to me, it is not. Okay, it is not. But despite the graph show otherwise, because to me, I think that the vocal on this IEM is at the correct place. I would say medium, accurate place. It's not like super forward at your face. And where else, the instruments. Okay, instruments on this IEM this time is slightly a little bit more pronounced than, I can't say that it's more pronounced than the vocal, but it's more pronounced than a lot of the other sets out there. So for example, the previous set that most of the Chi-Fi set that we mentioned, we go through, we review, right? Can't think of it right now, but most of them you have very forward vocals, like right here. Most of the time the instruments will go one step behind, giving them some space, and you have all your female vocal that you like. But on this IEM, I just felt that I would like the instruments a little bit more because it's slightly more forward and just blend very nicely with the female vocal. And the female vocal this time is not those that would just sing right at your nose. So something fresh from Chi-Fi, because we already gotten so many female forward sounding vocal IEM in the market right now. So this is not the kind of super forward vocals. And the vocals on this IEM, I would say, have a little bit of that airy kind of signature to it, which is also very rare, especially on a set like this for $249. You have that airy sound which is very nice to listen to for female vocal. Okay, so let's talk about something which is I never mentioned in most of the video, which is the technicalities of this IM, because most of the technicalities on other set are mediocre, are just alright, or just okay, or maybe less than okay. So this IM actually do very well on technicalities itself. For example, the video that I mentioned on like Pula 2 or the CKLVX, okay, I give them a very good ranking in tonality, but the technicalities on those are just a little bit lackluster, a bit lacking. But on here, this is a very nice tonality IM, very nice tone IM, but yet doesn't lose out in the technicalities. The technicalities on this IM is especially good, really good. Okay, let's talk about why is it good. So first of all, imaging. Again, I didn't talk about imaging a lot because most of them are just like that. Okay, so be it $50 all the way to like maybe $500, I don't really see a difference in imaging. Most of them would be just normal there. Okay, you won't be able to tell. But for something expensive like for 2,000 plus US dollar, like the 64 Audio U 18S, okay, we have pinpoint imaging where you can tell where are all the instruments. Maybe it's at 11 o'clock, that one is at 2:30 or like 3 o'clock, or you can tell where are everything, and it's good for gaming as well. So on this IM, you didn't get that 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, like 45 degrees or 20 degrees, that kind of, I would say, pinpoint imaging, okay, laser pinpoint kind of imaging, but it does think a little bit more different this time. It will go like very 9 o'clock and very 3 o'clock, very left and very right. Okay, so not necessarily a good thing because it's so left and so right, but this kind of sound imaging, okay, creates a very nice, I would say, separation together with, because of the way that it presented the imaging, because your vocal will be at the center, then the rest of the thing will be on your super left and on your super right. So in between, you have not much of thing going on in between, so you give you that sense of separations. So in a way, yes, not super correct imaging, but at least it has something, it's left and right, at least you can tell, and give you a very fixed sense of separation, which is maybe by accident, which is again good thing. So you get very nice separation in terms of your vocal and your instruments, which is something that I really appreciate. And the detail retrieval on this set, yes, let me caveat first, this IM, the Cadenza 4, might be a little bit bright, leaning a little bit bright, but not the EA 500 kind of bright, but just that still a little bit bright, because the detail retrieval on here is like, I would say, better than average. It's really good. Micro nuances for $249 kind of set is, you can catch a lot of them quite easily. And I would say on this price point, even something like the Zen T2, which I like a lot, don't have this kind of detail retrieval. That thing is a bit darkish. So here, although it's a little bit bright, but it do the detail retrieval and capability of capturing all these micro nuances very nicely. So I would say that is this a very detailed set, not like super detailed, but at least it's a detailed set. It's a very nice set to have. So in comparison to stuff that I just mentioned, like the Pula 2, the CKLVX IM, which is 1+4, I think this IM have demonstrated that IM can be good in tone as well as technicalities as well. So both of those are like getting a C or a C- in terms of technicalities. On here, I would say that you can give a B to tone, another B again to the technicalities, because I think that is fairly well done. And for 1+3, it is quite impressive, as in, imagine that this IM have more drivers that they can use, that can utilize, then I think they can score even better. Yeah, because of the 3 BAs, that's why your imaging, you can't like get it to like your 2 o'clock, your 11 o'clock, that kind of super pinpoint, laser pinpoint kind of imaging and detail retrieval, but then it is good. I think they have really utilize the potential, the maximum potential of the drivers that they can use on here. So I think that is a very good IM and I would recommend it. And also if you want to tweak around it, okay, this IM, you think that it's a bit bright, or you think that you want to play around with this IM to make it even more balanced, even more perfect. Okay, so what can you do? First of all, you can use your ear tips, which is the cheapest option out there. So a lot of you don't believe in cable, but at least ear tip please. So ear tips, you can use something like from Divinus Velvet. Divinus Velvet, it actually block out some of the peaks, okay, or some of the peakiness, some of the sharpness from an IM. So if you think that this thing is a little bit offensive sometimes when you're listening to like something from J-pop or something like too exciting, then maybe Divinus Velvet will helps. And also I would say the matte feeling on the Divinus Velvet also kind of matching with the shell of the IM, which is also in matte, so it's very comfy to wear as well. So Divinus Velvet is one thing. The other one is cable, and most of you don't believe in cable, so you can try to swap the cable around. I think that some copper cable, whatever copper cable that you can get, or maybe from Letshuoer themselves, they are having this new copper cable, which I don't have it, but you guys can give it a try. Most of the time copper cable will just give it a bit more meat, a bit more warm, and then also sometimes tames out some of the pickiness that it has. Depends on the copper cable, the quality of the cable that you gotten, so maybe something to look out for. For me, it's perfectly fine. So also the depth, your source, okay, either you are using a DAP or your dongle. So I would kind of avoid something sharp and something cold. So like for example ESS chip, which I am not a big fan of, so I won't use something that is like from ESS Sable, that you guys know there are a lot of them out there, like 9038, 9039, those would be a little bit too intense. Okay, I would use something like there are a lot of AKM chips out there, or there are some of the less intense CS Logic chips out there as well that you can use. For example, for my taste, I would use like the Transgym Space or the Colorfly M1P, which is a very good options for this IM. So it depends on you want it a bit warmer, take the M1P. If you want it a bit even cleaner, then use the Space, which is fantastic. So that's all for the review today, quick one. And if you want any comparison, comments down below, and please like and subscribe. See you guys next week. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.